Okay, this screencast here is going to go over the price ceiling and the price floors. These are prices that are instituted by the government, and they are set either above or below equilibrium price. Based on where they're set, that determines if they're a ceiling or a floor. They create what's called a disequilibrium, and they're effective because the government locks into this price and the price can't change. So for ceilings are set below equilibrium price. They're called a ceiling because you can't go above this price. What the government sets it at is the maximum price that it can be at. If the government hadn't set this effective ceiling, if it was the perfectly competitive market, over time this lower price would rise up and it would work its way to equilibrium, where you would have the quantity supplied equaling the quantity demanded. But it's effective because the government is forcing the price to stay here at the $2. Because it's set below equilibrium, you have a quantity demanded that's greater than the quantity supplied. This creates a shortage. You can figure out the size of the shortage by subtracting the quantity demanded, which is 14, from the quantity supplied, which is 6. And so therefore you have a shortage of 8,000 grebes. The other thing that results because of the price ceiling is the black market. When you have this shortage, you have consumers and you have producers who are willing and able to buy this product at a higher price. And so what they will do is they will find ways to have their own secret transactions that won't be a part of the market. And so that's one of the negatives that comes about from price ceilings. Probably the most commonly used example of a price ceiling would be rent control, and that's where the government is instituting a price that is below the market price for a housing market or apartments and stuff like that, and they're doing that so that people can afford to be able to live in the apartments. You lock into that price, and then unless if you were to move or something, that price will never change. Over here we have these price floors. With a price floor, this is where the government is setting the price above equilibrium. It creates a surplus because the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded. You can see here in this one you have an equilibrium price of $3, but the government has set the price at $5. The most common examples of floors tend to be with minimum wage. And with minimum wage, the way that it's described with the surplus of quantity supplied of people being willing and able to work versus the quantity demanded of those that the businesses are wanting to work for them, you have a surplus of workers, which creates unemployment. Another good example that's always given with the price floor is the agricultural market. The government wants to help out farmers, and so they create a floor on agricultural products, and so that what they really should be sold at is much lower. The government forces agricultural products to be bought at a higher price. This creates a surplus of agricultural products where we then have ones that are left over, and we can ship them out and give them as to help out other countries, but we have so much that we end up burning a lot of our agricultural products. The key here again is that you are recognizing that a surplus is created. It's set above equilibrium, and it's one that's effective because the government locks into it and you can't change it. So those are the main things that you see when you're talking about ceilings and floors. You want to be able to recognize examples that go with ceilings and floors. You want to be able to know that they create either a shortage or a surplus, depending upon which one it is, and that it's effective because that shortage or surplus will never go away because it can't work itself on its own to equilibrium.